The great hull of the Galactic Council shimmered with the light of countless stars, projected in holographic form, casting an eerie glow over the assembly of alien leaders. Species from across the galaxy had gathered once again to debate, negotiate, and weave alliances that shaped the cosmic balance. Yet one seat remained conspicuously empty. No official explanation had been given for humanity's absence, but that did little to quell the growing speculation. Murmurs rippled through the crowd like a quiet storm. Had Earth turned inward, content to watch from the sidelines? Or was this silence a sign of something far more dangerous? Senator Velrak of the Zinther Dominion leaned toward his neighbor, whispering, "They've been missing from every meeting for years. Either they're hiding something, or they're preparing for something." Across the room, Ambassador Tira of the Vishuri Coalition nodded. "Either way, it unsettles the balance. A world with Earth's resources and potential cannot be ignored forever." Back on Earth, the answer to these whispered questions was far more complex. Beneath the planet's surface, sprawling shipyards bustled with activity, hidden from prying eyes by advanced cloaking technologies and the planet's dense atmosphere. For years, humanity had quietly built an armada over 1,000 warships of various classes, each a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. These ships weren't just vessels of war. They were symbols of a species determined to claim its rightful place among the stars. Commander Elara Donovan stood on the bridge of the Vigilant Dawn, one of Earth's newest warships. Her gaze was steady as she watched the tactical displays flicker with the status of the fleet. Every system was checked, every crew member ready. The time for silence was over. "Captain," her second-in-command called softly. "All systems report green. The fleet awaits your command." Elara's lips curved into a determined smile. "Very well. Prepare to move into formation. We sail at dawn." Meanwhile, in Earth's political halls, the decision to remain absent from the Galactic Council had been deliberate. For too long, humanity had been underestimated, dismissed as a minor player in the grand cosmic game. Their absence was not surrender, but strategy, a silent message to those who believed Earth could be ignored. Dr. Marcus Trent, Earth's lead diplomat, addressed a small gathering of trusted advisors. "They think our silence means weakness. They think our absence means fear. But we've been watching, learning, preparing." One advisor raised a concern. "Are we certain the galaxy is ready for what comes next? An arrival of this scale will shock even the most powerful factions." Marcus nodded. "They'll have no choice but to listen, and when they do, we will be ready." As night fell over Earth's major cities, a fleet unlike any the galaxy had seen began to move silently into space, cloaked and coordinated. The hum of engines and a steady pulse of power resonated with the resolve of a species. Awakened to its destiny. In the distant stars, the Galactic Council continued without Earth, unaware that the galaxy's quietest observer was about to make its loudest entrance yet. And so, the stage was set to an empire of voices debating the fate of worlds. With one power missing but far from absent, humanity's warships waited, ready to ignite the stars and change the course of galactic history forever. The vast chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with tension. The endless debates and power plays had reached a fever pitch, as representatives from countless worlds jockeyed for influence. Then, without warning, the grand holographic displays flickered, and the usual scenes of distant star systems dissolved into something new, something no one had expected. The image that appeared was unmistakable. Earth's armada, a fleet of over 1,000 warships, poised in perfect formation at the edge of the galactic core. The sheer scale of the fleet was staggering, vessels gleaming with advanced technology, their surfaces etched with the symbols of a species that had long been underestimated. A hush fell over the council chamber as the image stabilized. All eyes turned to the commanding figure who appeared on the main screen, Commander Elara Donovan. Her face calm and resolute, leaders of the Galactic Council, her voice carried clearly across the chamber. "For too long, humanity has been absent from your meetings, your alliances, and your conflicts. We have watched, learned, and prepared. Today, Earth announces its arrival not as a pawn or a bystander, but as a force to be reckoned with." Senator Velrak's eyes narrowed, disbelief and unease flickering across his features. "This is an act of defiance. What does Earth intend by this sudden display of power?" Ambassador Tira's voice cut in, measured but urgent. "We must proceed carefully. Earth's fleet is vast, and their technology is unlike anything we have faced." Back on Earth, the Vigilant Dawn and its sister ships held their positions in orbit, awaiting further orders. Commander Donovan stood at the forefront of humanity's boldest step into the galactic arena. The moment had come to show the galaxy that Earth was no longer to be ignored. "Begin transmissions to all factions," Alara commanded. "We are here to claim our place, but we come not with threats, but with a demand for respect." The Galactic Council scrambled to respond. Emergency communications buzzed through the chamber as various factions weighed their options. Some called for immediate military response, viewing Earth's fleet as a direct challenge to their authority. Others saw opportunity a chance to form new alliances with a powerful and resourceful species. Meanwhile, the citizens of Earth watched the news unfold with a mix of pride and apprehension. For generations, humanity had dreamed of reaching the stars, of becoming part of the greater galactic community. Now, that dream was no longer distant, it was reality. In the corridors of power on Earth, Dr. Marcus Trent addressed the media. "Our rival is not the beginning of war," he stated firmly. "It is the beginning of a new chapter. We seek dialogue, fairness, and a seat at the table where decisions are made." But the message was clear. Earth was ready to defend its interests. In the council chamber, a tense debate erupted. The once unified factions fractured, some urging negotiation, others demanding caution or aggression. The galaxy was at a crossroads. Amid the turmoil, a small but influential group stepped forward, representatives from several neutral systems, who had long admired Earth's resilience. They extended an invitation for a preliminary summit to discuss terms and intentions. Commander Donovan, monitoring the council's response, allowed herself a brief nod of satisfaction. "They cannot deny us now." Yet, beneath the surface, whispers of dissent grew. Some factions conspired to test Earth's resolve, sending reconnaissance ships to probe the fleet's defenses. Others began to mobilize their own forces, preparing for what they feared might become an inevitable conflict. The galaxy held its breath. On the bridge of the Vigilant Dawn, Alara's gaze was steady as she issued the next command: "Maintain readiness. We will show them humanity's strength not just in arms, but in will." As Earth's 1,000 warships glimmered against the backdrop of stars, the galaxy realized a new player had entered the game. The question was no longer whether Earth belonged among the stars. It was how the galaxy would respond to its arrival. The Galactic Council chamber was a tempest of voices, rising and falling like the turbulent seas of a storm-ridden planet. Debates flared with urgency and unease. Earth's sudden arrival had shattered decades of cautious diplomacy, forcing every faction to confront a reality none had anticipated. In the midst of the turmoil, Commander Alara Donovan's voice cut through the noise with unwavering clarity. Standing tall on the bridge of the Vigilant Dawn, she addressed the galaxy in a broadcast that echoed across countless systems. "Listen well," she began, her tone firm yet measured. "Humanity has watched from the sidelines, studied your politics, your wars, your alliances. We have seen worlds rise and fall, empires expand and crumble. No longer will Earth be a silent observer." The broadcast showed images of the Earth fleet in perfect formation, their sleek silhouettes outlined against the stars. "We come not as conquerors, but as equals. We demand a seat at the council, a voice in the decisions that shape our shared future. The time for marginalizing humanity is over." Senator Velrak of the Zinther Dominion bristled as he listened. "They speak as if they own the galaxy," he growled. "We must remind them of their place before their arrogance leads to disaster." But not all shared his sentiment. Ambassador Tira of the Vaishuri Coalition leaned forward, her expression thoughtful. "Humanity's rise is undeniable. Perhaps it is time for the galaxy to reconsider old prejudices." Back on Earth, the news was met with a mix of exhilaration and solemn responsibility. Citizens gathered around glowing screens, witnessing their world's declaration to the universe. For many, it was a moment of pride. For others, a daunting reminder of the challenges ahead. Dr. Marcus Trent stood before a crowd of reporters, answering questions with calm confidence. "We do not seek conflict. Our demand is simple: respect and inclusion. If the galaxy wishes for peace, it must begin with fairness." Yet beneath the hopeful rhetoric, Earth's military prepared for all possibilities. The thousands of warships, from agile fighters to colossal cruisers, remained at the ready. Tactical drills intensified, commanders honing strategies for defense, and, if necessary, retaliation. Within the Galactic Council, responses varied wildly. Some factions began diplomatic overtures, proposing preliminary talks with Earth's representatives. Others quietly mobilized fleets, unwilling to gamble on Peaceful resolutions. A secret meeting convened in the shadowed corridors of the Imperial sector. High-ranking officers whispered of Earth's potential threat, debating strategies to contain what they termed the human wild card. Their decision was clear: Earth must be tested, its resolve measured. In response, Earth deployed reconnaissance teams to key border systems, demonstrating their ability to move swiftly and precisely. These missions served a dual purpose: gathering intelligence and signaling that Earth would not hesitate to protect its interests amid the growing tension. The Galactic Council's ruling body agreed to a simultaneous unprecedented gathering that would include Earth's leaders, the venue, the neutral world of Sci-Fi Prime, a planet chosen for its history of mediation and peace. Commander Donovan prepared for the summit with meticulous care. This meeting will define humanity's place in the galaxy, she told her senior staff. We must be firm, clear, and united. As the date approached, the galaxy held its collective breath. Would the summit bring reconciliation or ignite the fires of war? On the eve of the gathering, Earth's flagship hovered above the planet's atmosphere. Below, the glow of city lights mirrored the stars above, symbols of a civilization ready to step into the wider cosmos. Ela looked out at the expanse of space, the weight of history pressing on her shoulders. We didn't come this far to be ignored, she said softly. Now, the galaxy will see who we are. The bold declaration had been made, the game was set, and humanity was ready to play. The neutral world of Sci-Fi Prime was alive with an uneasy energy as delegates from across the galaxy gathered for the unprecedented summit. Crystal spires reflected the twin suns, and vast plazas buzzed with alien voices, some curious, some wary, and many openly skeptical of Earth's sudden appearance on the galactic stage. Inside the Grand Conference Hall, Earth's representatives stood tall, their presence a bold statement. Commander Elara Donovan and Dr. Marcus Trent faced a room filled with rulers, generals, and diplomats. The air was thick with anticipation. This was not merely a meeting, but a test, one that could define the fate of humanity among the stars. As the summit began, voices rose and fell, but it was clear that words alone would not settle the questions lingering beneath polite formalities. Many factions doubted humanity's readiness. Were Earth's boasts of power merely bravado? Was their fleet capable of more than just appearances? Those doubts would soon be answered. On the outskirts of the system, a strategic starbase known as Vesper Point had long been a flashpoint between rival factions. Its control meant access to vital trade routes and military advantage. The Galactic Council had decreed that a demonstration of strength and skill would take place here, a controlled exercise designed to prove Earth's fleet capabilities without bloodshed. Elara's fleet moved into position with precision. The 1,000 warships, coordinated like a single organism, displayed maneuvers that combined centuries of human naval tradition with cutting-edge technology. Fighters darted through asteroid fields with uncanny agility. Cruisers unleashed coordinated energy pulses that disabled simulated targets without destruction. Observers from the Council watched in stunned silence. Earth's forces operated with a discipline and adaptability that defied expectations. When a simulated adversary and elite coalition force launched a mock attack, humanity's response was swift and decisive. The human fleet absorbed the strike, countered with precision, and turned the tide within minutes. Senator Velrak, who had been among the most vocal skeptics, found himself grudgingly impressed. Their tactics unpredictable and efficient. They fight differently than any known species. Ambassador Tira nodded in agreement. It's not just technology, it's their will. Their unity under pressure. Back on Earth, the success of the proving ground was celebrated as a turning point. News feeds and broadcasts shared every detail, reinforcing the message: humanity was ready. But beneath the celebrations, Commander Donovan remained vigilant. We've shown them strength today, she said quietly to her officers. But strength alone will not secure our future. We must prove we can be trusted, that our power serves peace as well as protection. That delicate balance would be tested soon. In the days following the exercise, the summit turned to more difficult negotiations. Many factions sought assurances, treaties that limited human expansion, agreements on military conduct, and clear boundaries. Others pressed for technological exchanges or access to Earth's growing knowledge base. Dr. Marcus Trent engaged in lengthy discussions, emphasizing humanity's commitment to fairness and cooperation. We seek partnership, not dominance, he assured the assembly. Our future depends on unity, not division. Still, resistance simmered. The Empire, wounded by Earth's rise, refused to accept a peer it could not control. Secretly, they intensified their own preparations, readying fleets for a possible confrontation. Amid this growing tension, a sudden crisis erupted. A mining colony on the fringe of the Empire's territory was attacked not by Earth, but by a rogue faction aiming to destabilize the region. The Empire blamed humanity, accusing Earth of orchestrating the strike to provoke conflict. Commander Donovan's fleet scrambled to the sector, determined to investigate and prevent further chaos. Their swift response and thorough investigation revealed the truth, exposing the rogue group and preventing war. The galaxy took notice. Earth had not only demonstrated power, but responsibility as the summit drew to a close. Tentative agreements were forged. Earth earned its place as a recognized power, though many eyes remained watchful and wary. The proving ground had been more than a demonstration, it was the first step toward trust. Commander Elara Donovan stood on the observation deck of the Vigilant Dawn, watching the stars twinkle beyond the viewport. The journey was far from over, but humanity had ignited a spark that would change the galaxy forever. "We're no longer just Earth," she said softly. "We're a force that will shape the stars." The tentative peace forged at Surface Prime was fragile, held together by hope and wary agreements. Yet in the depths of the galaxy's political maze, unseen forces began to stir. Not all factions welcomed humanity's arrival with open arms, and some saw the summit's outcome as a challenge to their long-held dominion. Deep within the Imperial sector, whispers of rebellion spread like wildfire. The Empire's high command, bruised but not broken, plotted ways to undermine Earth's influence. They knew direct confrontation with the 1,000-warship fleet would be disastrous. Instead, subtler tactics would be their weapons: espionage, misinformation, and sabotage. Commander Elara Donovan sensed the growing storm. "They may not fight us openly, but they will test our defenses in the shadows." She warned her officers aboard the Vigilant Dawn. "We must be vigilant," true to her instincts. Strange incidents began to occur. Communications were intercepted, supply convoys mysteriously delayed, and small but critical systems on several Earth ships experienced unexplained malfunctions. It was a silent war fought in codes and shadows. Dr. Marcus Trent convened with Earth's intelligence network. "We're dealing with a coordinated campaign," he said grimly. "Someone wants to weaken us from within." One night, a crucial breakthrough came. An undercover operative embedded within the Empire's intelligence services sent a coded message, revealing the existence of a covert faction, the Veil. This group specialized in sabotage and misinformation, seeking to destabilize Earth's position before the fleet could fully establish itself. Elara tightened security protocols. No ship leaves or enters without thorough inspection. Trust will be earned, not given. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council grew divided. Many factions sympathized with Earth, but the Empire's influence corrupted many minds. At every turn, proposals to fully integrate Earth met resistance. Delayed by procedural red tape or outright veto, frustration mounted. Earth's diplomats faced growing hostility. Even as they saw common ground, the summit's promise of cooperation seemed threatened by unseen enemies. The situation escalated when a critical diplomatic envoy disappeared en route to a neighboring system. The loss sparked outrage, and fingers pointed swiftly at Earth, accusing humanity of foul play. But Elara refused to accept the accusation. "We will find the truth," she declared. Dispatching specialized teams to investigate, the search uncovered evidence of the Veil's involvement in an attempt to frame Earth and ignite open conflict. With the truth exposed, the Council convened an emergency session. Some members demanded sanctions on the Empire, others called for calm and dialogue. In the shadows, the Empire's hardliners seethed. Their gambit had failed, but the war had only just begun. Back on Earth, the crisis served as a stark reminder. Power alone could not guarantee survival. Trust was fragile, and enemies lurked in every corner. Elara gathered her senior staff. "We must continue to prove ourselves not just with strength, but with honor and transparency. The galaxy is watching." In response, Earth launched humanitarian missions to troubled systems, offering aid and support to those affected by conflict. These efforts softened some hearts and built alliances that would prove vital in the days to come. The Veil, however, remained a persistent threat, striking when least expected. Each attack tested humanity's resolve and unity, forcing them to adapt quickly. Through it all, Elara and Marcus stood unwavering, their partnership a beacon of determination. Together, They vowed to protect Earth's hard-won place in the galaxy. As the shadows lengthened and the galaxy held its breath, one truth was clear: the arrival of humanity had changed everything. The Empire might control many worlds, but Earth had brought something new: hope, resilience, and a will that could not be broken. The war for the stars was no longer just about fleets or power, it was about who would shape the future. Despite Earth's cautious advances and diplomatic efforts, unrest simmered beneath the galaxy's polished surface. The Empire's grip, once absolute, was now challenged not only by humanity's rising power, but also by growing dissatisfaction. Within its own ranks, on the outer rim of the Imperial sector, whispers of rebellion stirred. Worlds long oppressed by Imperial rule saw hope in Earth's defiance, a beacon that sparked dormant fires of resistance. Small groups of insurgents began coordinating attacks on Imperial supply lines, striking with precision and disappearing before retaliation. Commander Alara Donovan watched these developments with a mixture of hope and concern. "We didn't come here to ignite civil war," she told her advisors. "But if the Empire's own people are ready to fight for change, we can't turn away from that." Dr. Marcus Trent, ever the strategist, emphasized caution. Supporting rebellion could hasten the Empire's collapse, but it could also plunge the galaxy into chaos. "We must act carefully, balancing aid with diplomacy." Amid this fragile landscape, Earth initiated covert support missions supplying resources, intelligence, and training to rebel cells. The objective was clear: weaken the Empire's hold without sparking a full-scale conflict. But the Empire was no stranger to such tactics. Their counterintelligence apparatus worked tirelessly, infiltrating rebel networks and sabotaging efforts. Many insurgent groups were betrayed, captured, or destroyed. One rebel leader, Kellen Dray, emerged as a symbol of resistance, a former Imperial officer turned dissident. Kellen's strategic mind and unyielding spirit inspired many. Secret communications linked him to Earth's covert aid, though nothing was publicly acknowledged. When an Imperial task force ambushed a rebel stronghold, Earth's fleet responded swiftly, rescuing survivors and striking the task force with overwhelming force. The action sent a powerful message: Earth would not abandon those fighting oppression. In the Galactic Council, reactions were mixed. Some factions hailed Earth as liberators, others condemned interference in Imperial affairs. Debates flared, threatening the fragile unity built at Surface Prime. Senator Velrek's voice rose with fury. "This is war by proxy. Humanity crosses a line that cannot be undone." Ambassador Tira cautioned restraint. "We must remember why Earth came to bring balance, not destruction." The Empire, wounded and enraged, escalated its own campaign. Fleet movements intensified, patrols tightened, and crackdowns on suspected rebels grew brutal. The shadow war was becoming impossible to contain. Back on Earth, the strain showed. Citizens grappled with the moral weight of their actions. Families lost loved ones in distant skirmishes, while politicians debated the limits of intervention. Commander Donovan held a rare moment of reflection. Looking out over Earth's illuminated cities, she wondered how far they could push before the fragile peace shattered. "We didn't ask for this war," she admitted to Marcus, "but we won't back down. If the galaxy chooses conflict, humanity will stand tall." Marcus nodded. "The flames of rebellion may burn bright, but they also bring the chance for renewal." As battles flared in the Outer Rim and alliances shifted, one certainty remained: the galaxy was no longer the same. Humanity had ignited a spark not just of war, but of change. The Empire's time of unchallenged rule was ending. A new era was dawning, forged in fire and determination. And in that crucible, Earth was ready to shape the future. The galaxy trembled beneath the mounting pressure of war and rebellion. The Empire, once confident in its dominance, now faced challenges that reached deep into its foundations. Earth's involvement had sparked more than political upheaval. It had awakened the forces of change. In the heart of the Imperial sector, Emperor Vrunzel stood before his war council. The room was heavy with tension, filled with generals and advisors whose faces bore the strain of endless conflict. "This human defiance threatens to unravel everything we built," the Emperor declared, his voice cold but resolute. "They seek to rewrite the order of the stars, and we cannot allow it." General Korvik, the Empire's fiercest warrior, stepped forward. "Our fleets remain unmatched. We can crush their allies and force humanity to submit. But at what cost?" Countered Minister Salira, a voice of caution. "This war is spreading. The rebellion grows stronger with every strike we make. We risk igniting a galaxy-wide conflagration. Emperor Rune's eyes narrowed. Then we end it swiftly, gather the Empire's finest fleets, prepare for a decisive battle that will break Earth's resolve once and for all. Elsewhere, on the Vigilant Dawn, Commander Elara Donovan received the intelligence report with a steady calm. The Empire was mobilizing its greatest forces for an all-out assault to gamble that could either secure their dominance or bring their downfall. We knew this day would come. Elara told her officers, the Empire believes it can intimidate U.S. into submission. They will learn they have underestimated humanity's spirit. Dr. Marcus Trent worked alongside military strategists, analyzing data and planning countermeasures. Their fleet is vast, but their morale is fractured. The rebels fight with purpose, and Earth's forces are unified like never before. As fleets amassed in the shadow of the Orion Nebula, tension rippled through the ranks. Space around the nebula became a vast chessboard, ships maneuvering in silent anticipation of the conflict to come. The battle began with a thunderous exchange of fire. Energy blasts lit up the void as thousands of ships clashed. The Empire's seasoned warriors unleashed devastating strikes, their experience evident in every move. Yet humanity's fleet responded with fierce determination and unexpected tactics. Coordinated strikes exploited weaknesses in the Imperial formations, while agile fighters outmaneuvered heavier vessels. Earth's commanders adapted swiftly, turning desperation into advantage amid the chaos. The rebel forces launched simultaneous attacks on Imperial supply lines, stretching the Empire's defenses thin. Kellen Dre's leadership proved invaluable, his guerrilla tactics causing havoc within the Empire's ranks for hours. The battle raged, a brutal testament to wills locked in deadly contest. Ships were lost on both sides, but Earth's fleet held firm, pushing back the Imperial advance. In a pivotal moment, Elara led a daring strike against the Empire's command ship. The assault disrupted enemy coordination, sowing confusion and turning the tide. With the command structure compromised, Imperial forces began to falter. Emperor Vroom watched from his throne room. Fury and disbelief etched across his face. His empire, once thought invincible, was unraveling before his eyes. As the Imperial fleets retreated, Elara broadcast a message to the galaxy. The Empire sought to break us, but humanity's spirit stands unyielding. The future belongs to those who dare to fight for it. The battle's aftermath rippled across star systems. Rebellion momentum surged, and many worlds reconsidered their allegiance. Earth had not only survived the Empire's reckoning, they had turned it into a symbol of hope. Yet victory came with its own burdens. The cost in lives and resources was immense. Commander Donovan and Dr. Trent knew the war was far from over, but the Empire's reckoning had changed the balance. On the Vigilant Dawn, Elara addressed her crew. We've proven what humanity can achieve when united. The stars are no longer out of reach. Marcus smiled faintly, and we've shown the galaxy the true meaning of resilience. As the nebulous glow faded behind them, the horizon ahead was uncertain but filled with promise. The Empire had been shaken to its core, and humanity's fury had ignited a new era. The question was no longer who would rule the stars, but what kind of future they would build together. The Empire's retreat echoed through the corridors of power, signaling an end to their unchallenged reign. Yet for Earth and its allies, the hard work was only beginning. The galaxy was fractured, scarred by war and suspicion, but ripe with possibility. Commander Elara Donovan stood on the bridge of the Vigilant Dawn, watching the stars stretch infinitely before her. The battle at the Orion Nebula had been a turning point, but she knew the peace that followed would be just as difficult to secure. Victory is never just the end of fighting, she said quietly to Dr. Marcus Trent, who stood beside her. It's the start of building something lasting. Marcus nodded, eyes bright with hope and concern. We've proven that humanity can face even the greatest empire and stand tall. Now, we must lead by example. Across the galaxy, former Imperial worlds began to reconsider their futures. The rebel networks, once fragmented and secretive, started organizing into councils seeking representation and reform. Galactic council sessions were restructured to include voices long silenced by Imperial rule. Earth's diplomats worked tirelessly, promoting unity and reconstruction. Their message was clear: cooperation, transparency, and respect for all species. Senator Velrak, who had once opposed Earth's involvement, found his views shifting as he witnessed the profound changes. Perhaps, he admitted in a private meeting, this is the galaxy's chance to grow beyond old conflicts, but challenges remained. Pockets of Imperial loyalists resisted the new order, unwilling to accept a future where humanity played a central role. These factions conducted guerrilla attacks and attempted sabotage, reminding everyone that peace was fragile. Alara led efforts to quell these uprisings with a balance of strength and diplomacy. "We fight to protect, not to conquer," she reminded her troops. Every victory must be measured by the peace it secures. In one such operation, Kellandre, the rebel leader who had become a symbol of hope, joined Earth's forces in negotiating a ceasefire on a contested world. His courage and integrity earned the respect of former enemies, embodying the possibility of reconciliation back on Earth. Citizens celebrated their role in shaping the galaxy's future. Schools taught the stories of unity and sacrifice, and the stars became a symbol not just of ambition, but of shared destiny. Yet Alara and Marcus remained vigilant. "The galaxy is vast," Marcus said, "and not all will choose peace willingly." Alara smiled, a steely glint in her eyes. "Then we'll be ready, because humanity's strength isn't just in our weapons, it's in our will to protect what's right." The vigilant Dawn prepared to set course for the next mission, exploring uncharted systems and forging new alliances. Humanity's journey among the stars was far from over. As Earth's fleet sailed through the cosmos, the echoes of war faded, replaced by a symphony of hope and determination. The Empire had been challenged, its dominance broken, but the true victory was the chance to build a galaxy where all could thrive. Under the endless sky of stars, a new dawn was rising. And humanity was ready to lead.